is a strong one out there with maximum sustained winds at 140 miles per hour, moving toward the west-northwest at 9 miles per hour. And also note that drop in pressure. 960 millibars earlier, now at 949 millibars. The center of Hurricane Matthew is 465 miles southeast of Kingston, Jamaica. So here's Jamaica, and then here's the center of Hurricane Matthew. Now, on the infrared satellite imagery, it just looks like a powerhouse hurricane. You can see that eye so well defined on this system. The projected path from the National Hurricane Center showing it stays a Category 4 as we're heading into tomorrow, and also showing as we're going through the weekend that eventual turn up toward the north, maybe at some point late Saturday into Sunday. And by Sunday afternoon, it's showing it could lose a little steam, coming down to a Category 3, and then perhaps getting near Jamaica by Monday. But of course, from Jamaica over toward Haiti, those areas will have to watch it very closely. It continues its journey up toward the north, maybe passing over eastern Cuba, and that's the Tuesday time frame. We'll be tracking it from Tuesday into Wednesday, maybe coming in over the Bahamas as a Category 2. A powerful system out there, Max. National hurricane hunters have been investigating it, and I can only imagine what kind of ride they're having flying this storm.
Right, and we can actually estimate the intensity based on satellite. And anytime you have a very distinct eye like this, a little pinhole eye, you know it's a very powerful hurricane. But if you really want to get some measurements, you need to get an airplane in there. And this is the NOAA Hurricane Hunter plane, and it's hard to see that flight. But this is a research mission. They've flown in and out of there I don't know how many times. I'm really glad I'm not on that airplane. But they're giving us that really useful information on the exact wind speed in the hurricane. Now, looking at the models, they're in pretty good agreement here, even to Monday. They've shifted a little bit to the west, and they're kind of focused on Jamaica right now. The Hurricane Center didn't jump all the way over to the middle of that because they want to be sure this is consistent. But one comment about Jamaica, they're used to getting major hurricanes, but they usually come from the east. Something coming in from the south like this, if it goes inland to the west of Kingston, that's going to be pretty devastating on that south coast there. And then they're still in agreement as it heads up over eastern Cuba, a little more scatter in the central Bahamas, and by Wednesday afternoon there's really considerable scatter here. The reason for that, with the steering is not all that well defined here by the early and middle part of next week. We've got a ridge to the north, a trough of the eastern United States. I think that the ridge is going to stay there, but weekend and then a little weak upper level low may form off the western coast of Cuba. The combined steering should continue the hurricane to the north, but exactly how fast is there's just a lot of uncertainty with that.
And how close will it be to us? People are looking at the forecast cone at home and maybe honing in on that line down the middle. We don't want you to do that.
Right, and the average forecast there in 5 days' time, even for a hurricane, is about 230 miles. So that's the uncertainty. That's the average. So let's keep that in mind. And we don't know how far out the tropical storm force winds will extend on the west side either.
That's a good point, too. So a lot of reasons why you still need to pay attention to Hurricane Matthew, even as we're moving through the weekend. I know you have a lot of things to get done. Make sure you're staying tuned. I'll be back in a little while with a lot more on what you can expect for Saturday and Sunday right here. Janine?
Betty and Max, thank you so much. Do not forget to download our free Local 10 app. It's the Max Tracker. You can keep up with the latest storm tracking and the live radar, and get direct messages from Max Mayfield himself.
And stay with Local 10 News for continuing coverage on Hurricane Matthew. Local 10 News reporter Ben Kennedy is in Jamaica's capital city of Kingston and will bring you live reports starting tonight.